So the world of work is changing. There are so many different things that are happening right now. And the reality is, if you're still stuck in this model where you have to pursue a career, then you're going to get left behind. You've seen the stuff that's happened with DeepSeek. You've seen the stuff that's happened with the wars happening around the world. You've seen the things that are happening with just work in general. It's hard to get a role. It's hard to get a job. And so why are all of this stuff happening? So I want to talk to you about this concept where career has been redefined and shifted in a way that you need to take on board. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Michael Tabirade. I'm going to be doing a quick 30-day sort of like challenge thing. Whether I continue to do this or not, who knows? But we're doing it. We're doing it. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this concept known as the portfolio career. Okay. Now, essentially, this is a career that you create. This is not something that you pursue. It's something that you create. It's under your jurisdiction. And so really, a portfolio career is having the opportunity to really delve into different types of work that aligns to the type of work that you want to pursue. So what do I mean by this? Rather than just saying, oh, I want to be a doctor and you're following that specific route, maybe you want to be an AI engineer who also has a creative streak. Okay, maybe that is creating certain types of movies or music or whatever it may be. The point being made is you have the opportunity to create it, and with something like that, it is not a set path per se. That's the first thing I want to say. Now, of course, obviously we've been taught to sit in this space where you have to, climb the career ladder. That still kind of exists to a degree, but we're in a different space. And that's an old system that was invented by, I think it was the financial industry, where they wanted to ensure that people would stay in work. And so they needed an incentive to ensure that people stayed within that space. I know this was also something that other European sort of like countries adopted back in the day, but let's not even get into all of that stuff. Now, why is it important to have something known as a portfolio career? Well, essentially, it's the opportunity for you to align to projects and skills that you actually want to dive into, whether it's because you're passionate about that stuff, whether it's because you're good at that stuff. It could be a whole host of different reasons. A second thing is based on the fact that you have the opportunity to diversify your income. Now, of course, diversification isn't always a good thing because sometimes it means you're serving so many different masters. But the reality is we're in a space now where things are mad expensive, okay? Things are crazy expensive. Interest rates are climbing. And so with those interest rates climbing, it means that there's a premium on different things. There's situations where we're not able to get energy because of, certain wars and occupations that are happening around the world, whether that's, the Russian-Ukraine war or the 30 odd other wars that are happening around the world that haven't been spoken about. So there is a need to diversify your income, not just because you can make more, but also because it gives you the opportunity to create that financial resilience that is key. You need to have resilience, because if you don't have that in place, you're essentially putting yourself up for risk. Okay. There's also the opportunity to, again, leverage networking more. Okay. Communicating with different people and really sort of like learning from them and getting opportunities from them, or partnering with them, or collaborating with them. There are all these different things that you can do that a portfolio career allows you to do. And if you have a let's say not a pitch, but something that you can talk to, for example, for me, I may say I'm an independent program management consultant that enables NHS organizations to become more efficient and productive via digital transformation. I'm speaking to specifically who I am or what I do, who I help, and how I help them. It's very high level, but that gives you an idea. And so if you can say that, then you attract those types of people within your network. And of course, I've spoken about, resilience and all that kind of stuff there. I've kind of got some notes here just to sort of remind me to say stuff. So if I'm looking weird and stuff, it's because I'm looking at those notes. Now, of course, I kind of want to set context, and for the millennials listening to this, you may be more sort of like au fait with this because, again, you were right in the midst of it. Of course, the internet started in 1990, I believe, and there were so many things leading on from that where change was a thing. Okay, so you had the dot-com boom, you had the 9/11 attacks, in 2001. You also had the Lehman Brothers incident and the housing bubble crisis between 2007 and 2009. You had the SARS epidemic. You also had Brexit that happened in 2016 within the UK, and you had this more sort of like far right nationalistic sort of view spanning across the globe. Okay, and obviously there was a rise in more left field stuff, and now there's a bit more of a rise on the right side of things. You've also had things related to COVID pandemic, rise in inflation, rise in interest rates, the wars that are happening around the world, whether we're looking at Palestine, Hamas, and Israel, or Russia and Ukraine. You've had Donald Trump come back into office. You've had the rise in AI, and you've had DeepSeek, which has shattered some of the stuff within that space. All of this stuff is happening. Lots of change. Okay, lots of change. And so with that in mind, feeling that or thinking that being in a 9 to 5 is a secure place to go may slightly be a myth now. I mean, there was a report that was released by the World Economic Forum a couple of days ago, even a week ago or so, which highlighted that actually there are 90 odd different million jobs at risk because of AI, and 170 will be created, million that is, in the rise of AI. So things related to lower level administrative tasks, and I'm not trying to be sort of demeaning in any way, are the things that are going to start to disappear because of the automated nature and the leverage that AI provides. Whereas if you're thinking more about coordination, or you're thinking about the generation or setting the infrastructure, things like let's say an AI prompt engineer or an AI architect, or I don't know, a technical architect, program managers or project managers, leadership roles, things within the environment sector, those things are going to be more on the rise. Now, if you think about the stuff in the middle, okay, there are going to be things like, things that are not necessarily tech driven. So like farming or plumbing or electrician, like those stuffs are very much needed, amongst many other things too. So there are loads of opportunities of things to get yourself involved in. But the point I'm making is, just thinking you're just safe with just one thing, it's good to sort of check to see where you fit within this space. You have to. So job security is a bit of a myth, okay? Technology enables the ability for people to do more, have more, and be more. Because if you think about over history, what's changed? Technology. Have people really changed? Hard for us to really know, but I doubt it. Behaviors will be behaviors based on, the Pollyanna effect, which is basically somebody jumping on the bandwagon, okay? If someone else is doing something amazing. Or the fear of missing out. These things don't change. But technology changes how we do things to a degree. Think about how Instagram really took storm, and then TikTok took storm. There's probably going to be something else potentially. People crave autonomy. People crave this zest for independence. If I think about the book written by Daniel H. Pink, it's called Drive. He talks about purpose, autonomy, and I believe it's mastery. Okay, and in order for you to be driven, you need to have your own sense of autonomy. This is what I'm talking about. So autonomy is big, and this is what a portfolio career forces you to do. And of course, again, the cost of living crisis, it means that you really need to push yourself within that space to try and make something work. Even if you are trying to establish multiple streams of income, I always say, have one core thing that you do well. This may be your 9 to 5, this may be contracting, this may be consulting, whatever it may be. That needs to be the thing that reaps in the stuff, so you can feed the other 30% of things that you want to grow, so that they become bigger, and then this becomes optional. So multiple streams of income, great, but have one that is dependable. Okay. So again, what does a portfolio career look like? I can only talk about myself. So right now, the main way I draw in income is as an independent consultant. Why do I say independent consultant rather than contractor? It's because currently I have an outside IR35 contract. If I was inside IR35, I would say I was a contractor. If you don't know the differences between inside and outside, you can check my videos on my YouTube channel centered around that. But essentially, inside means that you're taxed like an employee. Outside means you're taxed like a corporation and or business. So that's the main way I get paid, which is a nice sum in that way. Then, adjacent to that, I do coaching. Okay, sorry about that, the video cut out, but essentially what I was saying was I help individuals position themselves so that they can articulate their value effectively, so that they can get the job promotion that they're looking for, or move into a new role, or help them get into a contracting space or become an independent consultant as well. So that's the other coaching element that I offer. In addition to that, I check people's CVs and LinkedIn, and of course that helps people boost their opportunities there. I help individuals with their interview techniques, etc., etc. Because again, I've been a hiring manager and I've checked hundreds of different CVs. I've had many different interviews with different individuals, and of course, me being on the other side as well, looking for these contracts, there are some things that I teach people as well. So that's, again, independent consulting, and then the other side is more coaching, if you want to call that. And then third, I'm also a trustee. Now, a trustee isn't a paid position. However, it is essentially a non-executive director that works for a charity. So the charity that I'm a trustee for is the Institute of Leadership. I'm very proud of that organization. They're doing extremely good things, but it's the same skills. You know, the CEO is accountable to the trustees. And of course, we have to make good strategic decisions, have good risk management, check the finances, have good succession planning, all this kind of stuff to ensure that, again, the charity and or business is viable. So I sit on the risk and finance committee for that, and also I'm part of the marketing sort of like sphere as well, because I have a special interest within that space. The other little things that I do include being an author. So I have 4 self-published books. That does make me money. Of course, it's not like crazy money. It makes the least money out of all of this stuff, but it was more of a marketing sort of like tool. And then there's the odd speaking engagement here and there, and also my digital products. So if you look at all of this stuff, this all forms part of the portfolio career. Now, I can talk to investments. I do have a little bit of a portfolio here and there, and of course a pension as well. But all of this different stuff talks to the portfolio career that I'm referring to. And so you can see why this is important, because it creates resilience. Now, there's a lot going on. Don't get me wrong. Did I do all of this at the same time? I would love to say no, but I did, just because of the personality that I have. But you don't have to do it that way. Okay. You have to remember, you have to do it the way that makes sense for you. This is why portfolio career is specific to the individual. Now, portfolio career can be called a multifaceted, multi-potentialite sort of like a career. It could be called multi-dimensional. There are some individuals who call it squiggly careers. There are loads of different words for it. But the point being made is you create your career. So it demands you to sit down and understand precisely what it is that you want to do. It's very important to understand. And so I've spoken about the pros of having some sort of portfolio career, i.e. financial diversification, flexibility and autonomy, personal development, because you have to personally develop, because it's dependent on you as the individual, as a consultant, as an independent consultant, not attached to a firm. It is contingent on me to ensure that I'm professional. And so with that professionalism, there are certain things I need to know and do in order for me to fit the bill. So professionalism is key. And this really helps with my personal development, whether that's training, learning different things, journaling, all of that kind of stuff there. But of course, there are certain challenges that come with setting up a portfolio career. And that looks like income uncertainty at times. There are times where I may be out of contract, or I'm not getting as many coaching clients, or whatever it may be. And it's like, man, like, I need to make this work. I can't feel sorry for myself. You know, I can let grace in for a little bit, but I need to kick grace out so I can get moving. It's that simple. There's time management as well. Like, you have to manage your time effectively. And for me, it's never been about time management. It's always about energy management, or on a more sort of like practical level, activity management. How do you manage your activities? You have to also be self-motivating. So you can't just do things based on external factors, i.e. money or recognition, even though those things can help to a degree in the short term. They have to be intrinsic. So if we go back to what I said about Daniel H. Pink in terms of purpose, autonomy, and mastery, if you delve deeper into those different things, then you're more likely going to get that drive, that self-motivation. If you're leaning into things that allow you to learn, achieve, have a sense of meaning, or even create a sense of joy, you're more likely going to be driven to do those things. And you have to be able to build credibility. So essentially, that credibility is built based on the fact that you have things you can talk to that you've done in the past that you can bring to light. Maybe you want to use LinkedIn to do that. Maybe you want to use advertising to do that. Maybe you're having different conversations with different people, talking to the stuff that you've done before in the past. So these are the things that you need to think about. Now, again, I'll very briefly talk about how you can actually develop or start thinking about how do you produce this portfolio career. And the ultimate question you need to ask, and I borrowed this from somebody, I think she's one of the ladies from Squiggly Careers, is you need to think to yourself, what do I want to be known for? The way I would phrase that is, who do I want to become? Now, the argument is you are already that person, but when it comes to reality, who do you want to become? What do you want to be known for? And so if you can answer that question succinctly, everything becomes conducive to that. All the decisions that you make become conducive to that. So first of all, you need to identify what are your core passions, your core curiosities, your core strengths. I can't even say that word properly. Your core skills. This is defined and highlighted from your previous experience. Of course, work experience is the best way to define this, but it may be from some other charitable or volunteer stuff that you've done, whether that's for your friends, family, X, Y, and Z. So what do people naturally seek help for you for? For me, it's career business help, essentially. Right now, the niche thing that people are asking me is, how do I get into contracting? Or how do I become a program manager? Those are the key things. How do I talk to my value more? I can help most people do that within my target audience, who are usually, people who are project professionals within a working space who just need help articulating their value, essentially. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to define what is your sort of like niche and general area. I've spoken about this before. Be a generalist, but also be a specialist. What do I mean? A generalist is somebody who can do multiple different things. They are a process consultant, okay? So it doesn't matter what situation you're in, there is a certain set of methodologies that you apply or procedures that you apply that when done or taken can help you produce value for that end client, for that customer. This is it within work, contracting, business, it doesn't matter. That's what a process consultant is, and they're generalists in that way. But if you're trying to attract a certain type of business, you need a specific title. So for me, it's program management, NHS, digital transformation, whatever it may be. Let me even say that again. So I am a specialist when it comes to digital transformation within the NHS. Okay, I'm a program manager. That's what it comes down to. So you know that, okay, he focuses on program management, but the area is the NHS, and specifically it's digital transformation. It's a change within a digital space. It's very specific. I'm batting away all these other people, but does it mean I can't do some sort of program management or transformation within the environment sector or the business sector or whatever it may be? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means I'm just narrowing down because those are the opportunities I seek. So define what specific problem you can solve and back it up. You have to be able to use something like PAR. I've spoken about PAR before, problem, action, result. What strategic problem can you solve? And that needs to be evidence. What actions do you take aligned to a methodology, okay, that is recognized by the individuals who may take you on board? And what results can you evidence that you've realized that is tangible? Did you make money, save money, or was there a quantifiable change, like a percentage or something like that? Leverage your network is the next point. You need to be able to use your network, people you've worked with before, other contractors, should I say, hiring managers, accountants, all these different types of people who can help you position yourself to get these opportunities. You want to build a strong personal brand. That's a whole thing to talk about, so I'll talk about that in another video. But essentially, your personal brand for me is the unique view that individuals have in you based on the associations that you put in front of them. And you do that consistently, okay? Whether that is talking, writing, the colors that you use, what you say, how you dress, how you think, your ideologies, your concepts, your presentation, all of this different stuff. For me, I would like to say I'm a professional, but I'm relatable. I like to be entertaining from time to time. You may not see it here right now, but when you know me one-to-one, you know that's the type of person I am, okay? Take small steps. Don't rush this process. You don't want to just go straight into entrepreneur mode. Again, you don't need to be an entrepreneur to have a portfolio career. Start off with where you're at right now and build upon that. Okay, have some sort of goal in mind. Set like a 90-day sort of like goal or aim, but take each day as it comes. You also want to master financial management as well. And really that comes down to understanding money. That's probably going to be a different segment as well. How do you make your money? How do you protect your money? How do you manage your money? Those are the 3 pillars in my mind, at least anyway. And finally, you want to stay adaptable and keep on learning. Okay, so the market's going to change. Don't be a tree. You can move, you can adapt and evolve and iterate. So think about all of these different things that I'm talking to you about, and ask yourself, is a portfolio career right for you? Well, the market may force you to think it is. So start thinking about this stuff. If you ever want help or support within this space, if you'd like any sort of coaching or even a one-off conversation, or if you would like help with any of the stuff that I've discussed in this video, then just check out the links below and then I should be able to help you as well. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.